गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
कैसे हो?
मैं अच्छा हूँ मैम, आप कैसे हैं?
बस ठीक. We are going to start the session, but I just wanted to know about your research on autism.
मैम
Meanwhile,
वो अनफॉर्चुनेटली मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा स्लो करना पड़ा क्योंकि मुझे अब जाके डेटा
हाँ,
एक्सेस मिला है। सो इट टुक मी लाइक टू टू ईयर्स टू गेट दैट डेटा एक्सेस फ्रॉम गूगल का एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, ऑटिज्म ऑटिज्म स्पीक्स। क्योंकि मतलब यूएस में गैदरिंग द हेल्थ केयर डेटा इज अ बिट डिफिकल्ट आई वुड से। सो
हम्म,
अभी डेटा एक्सेस मिला है, so I think I would be starting that with all the documentation done. So probably look out for something in the next 6 months or so.
okay, that's good. At least you got the data, and now you can go with your predictions and all.
Yep,
So
yep.
keep me updated.
Sure, sure, definitely, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
अथर्वा,
Yes, ma'am.
हमें स्टार्ट कर
Uh,
देते हैं ना, लिमिट कर दीजिए आप.
okay, perfect. Okay. Room, lock meeting. Cool. Okay, we're all set. So I think when we talk about machine learning, I think everybody, I mean, not everybody, at least, I have had a very basic doubt when I was starting out in the, field of data science. कि यार ये जो बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है, data analytics versus data science, क्या दोनों सेम है या उसमें कुछ डिफरेंस होता है? So I think that is one major point which we would be discussing, right? And as I said, right, we would be talking about the key fields inside the entire horizon of data science, right? We would be touching on machine learning, we would be understanding, I mean, not understanding, but we would be talking about artificial intelligence, we would be talking about deep learning and NLP, of course, right? That also would bring us to talk about the very basic processes of machine learning and the NLP. So when I talk about process, I would really want to talk about a very base understanding which I have while building products, right? Or in fact, solving any problem with a computer science perspective. I would really say that processes are the most important aspect of it. So I think जो भी हम ये subject पढ़ते हैं, right, जो software engineering project management था, I don't know अभी वो update हो गया है कि नहीं, but for me that is probably the most important subject when it comes to working in the real industry, right? Because that kind of gives you the flow of how to approach a problem and then solve it eventually with all the skills you have in your degree and obviously in machine learning too, right? I would also be giving you know a brief gist of the current state of the art. So anybody who is not aware of what a state of the art is, so when you try and understand how research landscapes work, और जो research industry है या जो research academy या research है, so उसमें एक term होता है state of the art, which is basically the best research or the best algorithms which are currently in the research space, and वो कैसे हमारा हमारे life में हम यूज करते हैं with all these terms साथ में जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, that is machine learning and data science and obviously NLP again. So yep, let's move on. uh, the first question, as I said, when I kind of started out in the field of data science, I had this huge doubt of what exactly is this difference between data analytics and data science. So both of them are different, obviously. So just to understand it in a more simple sense, so data analyst is someone who is trying to make sense or probably understand from an existing data set, right? And data scientist is the one who actually helps and brings that data out for the analyst, right? So for example, हम फ्लिपकार्ट की बात करते हैं. फ्लिपकार्ट के ऊपर अगर हमारे पास कुछ हजार यूजर्स हैं, मतलब ऑब्वियसली बहुत सारे यूजर्स हैं, बट जितने भी यूजर्स कुछ एक शॉपिंग कर चुके हैं, जिनका ऑर्डर प्रोसेस हो चुका है, जो फाइनल डेटा बन चुका है, उसको जब कोई एनालाइज करता है, उसमें से हमें पैटर्न्स निकलते हैं कि यार ये सेल बहुत सक्सेसफुल हुई है, या इतने लोगों ने ये प्रोडक्ट खरीदा है, या ऑल द इनसाइट्स व्हिच आर पॉसिबल थ्रू डेटा एनालिसिस. दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच अ डेटा एनालिस्ट वुड डू. बट डिफाइनिंग कि वो डेटा कैसे फ्लो होगा, कैसे स्ट्रीम होगा या डेटा स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा, दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच अ डेटा साइंटिस्ट वुड डू, राइट? सो with that, we also have this very basic difference and similarity matrix between data analytics and data science. So data analytics, as I said, it's kind of a analysis based approach where we kind of use software for analyzing trends and giving out patterns to to businesses, or in fact just to get out the data. And for data science, it's more of a algorithm development process जहाँ पे हम problems को mathematically solve करते हैं, and obviously हमारी computational skills को use करके we try to bring out a computer science aspect and approach so that we can solve it in a more programmatical way, other than what we do in this analysis, the first part, that is data analytics. But both of them have these overlapping skills, क्योंकि ये बहुत must है whenever we get into the field of machine learning per se. That is, you need to have this understanding of statistical skills, right? Statistics is very, very important. Python and R, obviously you need to bring out everything you are thinking in terms of hypothesis, or your understanding of machine learning algorithms into code, so that everything works. And obviously you should have a basic idea of data mining and data storytelling. Data mining is essentially a process where you are able to extract data from anywhere, right? It can be scraping, it can be generating your own data on your own website, or things like that. And data storytelling is again, it's a phenomenon where you try to tell what you have actually understood from that data. Let's say अगर मुझे एक data set मिल जाता है जिसमें हमारे पास कुछ 1 लाख यूजर्स हैं, राइट, जिन्होंने कुछ कार्स खरीदी है, फॉर होंडा, फॉर Hyundai, फॉर BMW, फॉर Mercedes. We would be able to tell the story that okay, out of 1 lakh users, 50,000 लोग ऐसे हैं जो होंडा प्रेफर करते हैं, एंड अगर होंडा प्रेफर करते हैं तो उसके बाद जो सेकंड यूज केस आता है, शायद 5,000 ही ऐसे लोग हैं जो BMW प्रेफर करते हैं, या थिंग्स लाइक दैट, राइट? सो दिस इज ऑल व्हिच कम्स इनटू डेटा स्टोरी टेलिंग. इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ touchdown. That's why I've kind of included this. And that brings us to the major part of this talk, which is the core aspects of data science. So I can actually divide data science, and I'm pretty much sure that everybody knows these terms included, right? So first is natural language processing, the second is machine learning, obviously, and the third one is AI. Everybody has been talking about this. And the fourth one is deep learning, which everyone should talk about, but they don't, and they just generally talk about machine learning, right? So when I see this, the current horizon of data science, I would say machine learning, artificial intelligence, and deep learning, these work hand in hand, right? These are essentially stepping stone to each other, right? हम अगर machine learning नहीं करेंगे तो शायद deep learning नहीं हो पाएगा, शायद deep learning नहीं करेंगे तो हम AI तक नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे, and stuff like that. But natural language processing is something which kind of is on its own, but at the same time it also utilizes everything which we have from these three aspects too. So let's try and focus on these three first, and then we can move on to natural language processing. And again, I would quickly repeat myself. Any doubt, kuch bhi question aata hai, you can just go ahead and ask, right? You can unmute yourself and probably ask the question then and there. I would really love that, so that we can have a good interaction between everybody, and more and more doubts are solved. So yep, first flow is deep learning. I would start with machine learning. So machine learning, as you can read, that these are basically algorithms which kind of try and use data to give you good amount of information, or get good amount of understanding through it. But at the same time, these are mostly algorithms which are generally in place, algorithms like linear regression algorithm, or a multilinear regression algorithm, or maybe AdaBoost, or stuff like that, right? And then there's this subset of machine learning, I would say, which is deep learning, which essentially is how a human brain would perceive information, and how we would try and do that in the AI landscape, right? So deep learning consists of things like neural network, or artificial neural network, or recurrent neural networks, and etc, etc. And when you combine the power of machine learning and deep learning, that is when artificial intelligence comes up, right? So artificial intelligence is essentially a program which can actually sense and learn from your own experience, right? Every time it is run. So with that, let's move on to something new. I mean, the next topic. And you would see a very simple flow of how machine learning looks like. So machine learning, I'm pretty much sure you guys would have had a chance of learning about unsupervised or supervised. And I would also say कि यार कहीं ना कहीं ये सारे terms कभी ना कभी तो सुने होंगे. Can I get a yes from anyone if somebody agrees?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
सर मुझे पिछले उसमें भी डाउट है। जैसे आपने बोला जैसे डीप लर्निंग जो है अब मैंने भी वर्क करा है इस पे डीप लर्निंग पे भी बहुत। सो द थिंग इज दैट फ्रॉम व्हाट आई अंडरस्टूड is that we tried to replicate the neurons and like the functioning of brain, but still like deep learning is still like a black box कि जैसे हम कॉन्वर्जेशंस की बात करते हैं तो सपोज हमने कोई जैसे अब हमने सोचा जैसे एमनेस डेटा सेट पे हम कुछ कर रहे हैं, सो हमने लेट्स से 4 to 5 डेंस लेयर्स का हमने नेटवर्क बनाया और हमने बोला कि जैसे हर जो लेयर है कॉन्वर्जेशन की वो क्या कर रही है, वो कर रही है कि जैसे हमारे पास में कोई भी इमेज आ रही है तो उसके अंदर से वो एजेस और सर्कल्स और तो पहले सबसे पहले छोटी छोटी एजेस निकालेगी फिर सर्कल्स वगैरह करेगी। तो द थिंग इज ये तो हमने सोचा है,
ओके
लेकिन ऐसा ऐसा हो रहा है तो ये बहुत सारे रिसर्चर्स और जैसे मतलब मैंने जितना भी पढ़ा है उसमें ये भी यही है कि हम ये सोचते हैं कि ऐसा हो रहा है बट दैट नॉट माइट नॉट बी द केस। सो उसके ऊपर मतलब कुछ रिसर्च हो रही है या जैसे आपको उसका कुछ पता हो कि हम इसको किस तरीके से और सोच सकते हैं, क्या पर्सपेक्टिव कुछ नया ला सकते हैं इसके अंदर, ये
okay.
आपकी क्या इसके लिए समझ है इसके?
Right. So I think very interesting one. So ना अभी recently कैसा होता कि I was reading this research paper. I'm not sure अभी आप सबके कोर्स में M3 है क्या? Mathematics 3 is still a part, right?
Yes sir.
So आप लोगों ने Fourier transform सुना होगा,
Yes sir.
है ना? So interestingly deep learning का जो आप ये hidden layer ये सारी चीजें बताते हो ना, so all of this are essentially mathematical equations, right? You would agree with this, correct?
Yes sir, of course.
Okay, cool. So when you think about deep learning, जैसा आपने बोला कि ये एक black box है जो बहुत सारे लोगों को समझ नहीं आता है कि क्या exactly हो रहा है, right? So I would probably say कि when you try and understand deep learning, everything is about vectors, right? And अगर vectors में है तो vectors is essentially about a collection of zeros and ones, right? Simple arrays होते हैं
Yes
वो,
sir.
है ना?
Yes sir.
So for example, if we have a word, अगर मैं किसी word को convert करता हूँ, because you talked about MNIST database,
Yes sir. Yes sir.
है ना? So when we talk about a text corpus, right? And please anybody अगर बहुत कुछ high level में बोल रहा हूँ मुझे please उसी time बता देना. I will try and simplify that for everyone. Okay? So when we talk about a text corpus, essentially मैं text data set की जब बात कर रहा हूँ तो मैं कोई वर्ड्स को निकालता हूँ या कोई भी फीचर निकालता हूँ. लेट्स से मेरे पास एक ऐसा डेटा सेट है जिसके अंदर विकीपीडिया के सारे पेजेस हैं, ओके, सारे कंटेंट आ रहा है एंड मेरे पास लेट्स से उसमें एक एनालिसिस आती है कि आई हैव द वर्ड फॉर द मोस्ट रिकरिंग टाइम जिसमें आ रहा है. सो जब मैं फॉर की अगर बात करता हूँ तो मेरे पास जो मेरा डीप लर्निंग आता है उसको फॉर एज अ वर्ड प्रोसेस नहीं करेगा, राइट? फॉर को वो हमेशा एक वेक्टर फॉर्म में प्रोसेस करता है, राइट? तो हमारा जो इनपुट रहता है, जो आप इनपुट लेयर्स या डीप लेयर या डेंस लेयर की बातें कर रहे हो, सो दैट इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. Coming back to my original point of this Fourier transform thing, so what Google did was काफी interesting चीज उसने करी थी अभी कि Google अभी I think एक activation function होता है which everybody knows, that is sigmoid function, right?
Yes sir.
तो Google ने अपने I think 5 लेयर का एक डीप न्यूरल नेटवर्क बनाया था जो essentially एक जीरो शॉट लर्निंग एनवायरनमेंट में कम ट्रेनिंग सेट में ज्यादा अच्छे एक्यूरेट रिजल्ट्स देता है, राइट? सो उसमें उन्होंने
प्री-ट्रेन था कि मतलब प्री-ट्रेन था कि नहीं था?
सॉरी
मतलब इट वाज प्री-ट्रेन्ड और नॉट?
प्री ट्रेन्ड नहीं था. सो या आई मीन वो मैं एक चीज कवर करूंगा इवेंचुअली इसमें, दैट इज जीरो शॉट एंड एन शॉट लर्निंग्स. बट जब उन्होंने इसमें हमारा मैथमेटिकल फंक्शन चेंज किया, जब वो सिग्मॉइड फंक्शन से एक फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म सीरीज पे आए, सो दैट काइंड ऑफ चेंज द एंटायर थिंग इन अ सेंस कि एक तो उनका ट्रेनिंग टाइम कम हो गया एंड उनका ट्रेनिंग जो हमारे रिसोर्सेज लगते हैं, जो प्रोसेसिंग पावर लगती है, वो कुछ आई थिंक 60% से और एफिशिएंट हो गई थी. एंड राइट, सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से हियर इज कि वो जो ब्लैक बॉक्स है, राइट, जो हमारे पास लेयर्स बने हुए हैं, हिडन लेयर्स जो हम बात करते हैं, डेंस लेयर्स बात करते हैं, इनफैक्ट कोई भी लेयर की बात करते हैं, दीज आर ऑल मैथमेटिक इक्वेशंस, राइट? सो हम जो भी हम जब भी किसी चीज को इंटीग्रेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं या डिफरेंशिएट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, जो मैथमेटिक्स का कोर पर्सपेक्टिव है, वी आर ट्राइंग टू रिड्यूस इट, राइट? वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक इट मच मोर सिंपलर एंड मच मोर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट. एंड एग्जैक्टली वही चीज हम कर रहे हैं डीप लर्निंग के अंदर. ओके,
यस
आई होप ये आंसरेबल था.
यस यस ये भी एक अच्छा मतलब एक नया एक व्यू सेट में जो मिला इसके लिए.
Yep. So that is something which you can look into and probably that would give a better understanding of what deep learning is. ठीक है?
यस सर, थैंक यू सर.
Yep. So okay, with that, let's try and come on machine learning. And यार मैं sorry आपका नाम पूछना भूल गया, but thank you question पूछने के लिए. I was really feeling कि यार मैं सिर्फ एक साइड से बात कर रहा हूँ. So yep. Okay. So first things first, I'm sure everybody of you have heard about unsupervised and supervised learning, but have anyone tried and understand कि उसके पीछे mathematics क्या है, right? Because I think the way I know everybody, or in fact everyone who tries to get into data science is कि सबसे पहला पार्ट होता है हमारा कि हम पाइथन खोलेंगे एंड पाइथन की जितने भी लाइब्रेरीज है सबको इंपोर्ट करके वी ट्राई एंड इंपोर्ट अ डेटा सेट एंड देन उसके ऊपर जो प्री बिल्ट लाइब्रेरीज हैं वो सारी यूज करके हम अपना एक accuracy वाला रिजल्ट दे देते हैं, राइट? बट हैज एनीवन अंडरस्टूड व्हाट KNN इज फ्रॉम अ मैथमेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव? किसी ने भी अगर किया हो तो प्लीज दे कैन एक्चुअली टॉक अबाउट इट.
जैसे मतलब concept तो I know, but mathematical equation I didn't try to get too deep into math.
Right. So as a part of introduction, right? So I think what something I would suggest everyone to understand is, from a bare minimum data scientist perspective, is you should understand what kind of mathematics is going in the background for any of the algorithm you are going into, right? It can be anything. It can be about classification, it can be about clustering, it can be about neural nets, and etc, etc, right? But with that said, when you talk about supervised learning, that is kind of the very base of everything. And also the fact that people are moving out of supervised learning, right? क्योंकि हमको अभी ज्यादा मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल्स को ट्रेन नहीं करना है. वी वांट देम टू अंडरस्टैंड इन अ वेरी फ्यू सैंपल्स और वेरी वेरी फ्यू टेस्ट केसेस, सो दैट हमको पूरा ट्रेनिंग हमारा जो पूरा ट्रेनिंग टाइम चले जाता है ना, तो वो पूरा रिड्यूस हो जाए. सो सुपरवाइज लर्निंग, फॉर एनीबडी हु डजंट नो इट, is essentially a way of training a model and then using it for making some kind of prediction, right? A prediction can be of two styles. One is obviously regression and the second is classification. So regression is something which I think in a very core mathematics perspective is something like जब हम एक लाइन प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं, राइट, द इक्वेशन ऑफ लाइन समथिंग लाइक x + y = 1, तो हमारे पास दो वेरिएबल्स आते हैं इसमें, x और y, राइट? तो हमारे पास आई थिंक एक नंबर लाइन में बहुत पहले आई थिंक हम करते थे कि हम मल्टीपल वैल्यूज रखते थे जिससे ये इक्वेशन सेटिस्फाई होगी. फॉर एग्जांपल x की वैल्यू जब 0.7 होगी या y की वैल्यू जब 0.3 होगी, तो दैट ट्रांसलेट्स इनटू 1, राइट, सेटिस्फाइंग द इक्वेशन. सो हमारे पास एक सेट बन जाता है x और y. तो अब व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस एनालॉजी ऑफ x, y, that is being taken into this regression cycle of trying to predict the other variable when one or the other variable is already known, right? So this is probably the most basic way of implementing machine learning in any of your applications which you are trying to make, right? So to give you an idea about exactly where linear regression can be used is, if you want to project the sales of a company, right? If you have वेरिएबल्स लाइक कि परचेस डेट कितना है, परचेस टाइम कितना है, एंड उनका प्राइस कितना है, टेकिंग ऑल ऑफ दीज वेरिएबल्स इनटू अकाउंट एंड कंसिडरिंग मल्टी वेरिएबल इक्वेशन, you can actually project and understand कि हमारा final predicted value क्या होगी, and that could be any interesting aspect or insight which we would want to take. And इसी regression के we have like three major parts, which is linear regression, which for me is useless. The second one is polynomial regression, which is very powerful, I would say, for the base level. And the third one is ridge and lasso regression, which is able to handle a lot of errors which this part of regression would give in. Unfortunately, because of time, I cannot really get into the code of everything, but I think the entire agenda, at least from my side, is to give you a good ground for looking into things on your own, right? And that is generally how I like to work or like to study also. And having said that, I think the second part is classification, which is probably the most crucial part of machine learning, right? So to give you an instance is I'm sure ki everybody has watched ads on some platform or the other, right? हम Instagram पे देखते हैं, हम Facebook पे देखते हैं, हम Twitter पे देखते हैं, हर जगह ads तो देखते ही हैं, right? So ads is essentially the best example of classification. So user classification हम जब clustering को use करके करते हैं, right? That is where we apply all of these algorithms, that is logistic regression, decision trees, SVM, naive Bayes, and KNN. So इससे होता ये है कि let's say if I have been an avid viewer of content related to cricket, so it would basically be classifying me as someone who has been involved and interacting with a lot of hashtags like hashtag cricket, hashtag cricket lover, hashtag Virat Kohli, and essentially stuff like that, right? So when you consider this, this is where you would really want to look into building a feature in your product, or in fact any of the product which you would eventually work on, so that you can try and classify as much as the users as you want. And when it comes to the product, so for example, I think recently I've been working on trying to develop this algorithm where I I classify a new user as a possible paid user or a always free user, right? सो उस एल्गोरिथम में हमारा मेन एम यही है कि अगर हमारे पास कोई नया यूजर आता है एंड उनके हमारे पास आई थिंक कुछ 20 डेटा पॉइंट्स हैं विच आई कैन नॉट रियली टॉक अबाउट, बट उन डेटा पॉइंट्स को यूज करके आई वुड रियली वांट टू कम इन टू अ कंक्लूजन दैट येस, दिस यूजर वुड इवेंचुअली बिकम अ पेड यूजर, राइट? एंड इफ ही इज नॉट बिकमिंग अ पेड यूजर, ये हमेशा फ्री यूजर ही रहने वाला है, तो देन आई वुड नीड टू शो हिम अ लॉट ऑफ एड्स so that I could extract more and more revenue out of that single person. So that is one part of the classical learning approaches, unsupervised, and that also brings us to unsupervised learning, which is very interesting. Dimensionality reduction being my favorite, which is kind of, I would say, people are really less attracted to this, but it is very crucial, right? So this would come into play where, let's say, we were talking about this MNST database, right? So MNST database ko, if you would study, you would get to know that we have, I think, about 2000 features for text, right? But at the same time, वो सारे features हमारे लिए useful नहीं होते हैं, right? And जब वो features useful नहीं होते हैं, we want to really understand कि सारे dimensions में से कौन से बहुत ज़्यादा useful features हैं, और the features which are actually making some difference into the data, right? So that is where this part comes in, that is PCA, which is principal component analysis. And iska pura idea yahi hai ki we try and look out for the main features, right? So this would also be a good point to introduce this understanding of how machine learning works, right? It's very close to how real world works, right? So let me give you an example of PCA. अगर हम फीचर्स की बात करें, सो इन PCA we are trying to only get the best features out of a certain data set, right? Now imagine this in a real world situation. अगर हमारे पास कोई टीम है, लेट्स से 10 लोगों की टीम है, और मुझे पता है कि यार एक इंसान जो है वो कोडिंग में अच्छा है, एक इंसान रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग में अच्छा है, एक इंसान इज वेरी गुड विद documentation, right? So these are essentially individual features of that respective teammate, right? So what would I do is essentially cluster all of these people together and then try out to reduce all the X number of features and bring out the best features only, so that I would have a better understanding of the team, right? Now, this is a very abstract example which I had like literally on top of my mind. But yeah, I mean, this is where, again, you would really want to start looking into it. This would also be very handy with LDA, that is latent Dirichlet processes. Very important. Latent Dirichlet is essentially responsible for identifying the hidden features in a data set, right? And oh, did I lose my screen? Because I think I just got a notification that participants can now see your screen.
No, sir, we can.
Okay.
We can see.
Cool. Yep. So given the current state of unsupervised learning, people are doing that a lot. Like I think companies like Google, Apple, and even Microsoft, and even Amazon for that matter, they're trying to implement unsupervised learning in a manner जहाँ पे हमें ज़्यादा ट्रेन सेट के लिए डेटा ना देना पड़े, एंड हमारे पास बहुत efficient results आए, right? So this is essentially a mix of supervised and unsupervised learning, which again is something which I would really talk about later in the presentation. Said that, I think I would really want to forward this presentation to every one of you. Probably I can hand it over to Kavita ma'am, and then she can actually forward it to you. Then I would really want you guys to look into something called clustering. Very important, very crux of how machine learning works. It's actually very dependent on k-means, because you would see everybody doing k-means a lot, right? So k-means is essentially again trying to segregate k number of clusters from a given data set. To understand it in a very simple sense, जैसा मैंने एक एग्जांपल लिया था अभी, एक हमारे पास कार सेल्स का जो डेटा सेट था, so I talked about we had like 100,000, I mean 1 लाख कार्स जो सोल्ड थी, उसमें से हमारे पास क्लस्टर्स थे, द नंबर ऑफ कंपनीज वी हैड, राइट? सो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हमारे पास उन डेटा सेट में 5 कंपनीज हैं, so that would essentially become a 5 mean problem, right? Jahan pe k, again, as I said, it's a variable. We are trying to look into how many clusters we should look for in a certain database, right? And I think this might feel a bit abstract. Agar hai, to I would really want you guys to ask doubts, right? So that we can discuss this again. But yeah, with this, I would want to move on to my favorite part, that is reinforcement learning, right? Wait, I think I have a slide for reinforcement learning. तो उसके पहले हम बात कर लेते हैं ensemble methods की. So ensemble method is essentially trying to improve your machine learning algorithm, whichever you create, whether it be supervised or unsupervised, in a manner where they kind of become much more accurate, much more efficient, right? And उसके लिए जो techniques होती हैं वो generally ये रहती हैं: AdaBoost, CatBoost, XGBoost, and LightGBM being the best of all. But also people use random forest for feature enrichment and data cleansing, so that it's a more robust training set for the algorithm which we are trying to create, right? And I think coming back to deep learning again, so deep learning के हमारे पास जो सबसे पहला part होता है, which is perceptron, which is essentially a very base level of how a human brain would also work, right? जैसे हमारे पास जो न्यूरॉन होते हैं हमारे बॉडीज में, वो हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन को लेके ट्रैवल करने के लिए काम आते हैं, and we kind of use them to perceive the information we capture, right? Whether it be audio, whether it be visual, and that is something which a perceptron does in the deep learning space also, right? So what I think initially I was talking about, this vector format. So vector form is kind of a abstract form of any information which we have, whether it be audio, मतलब वो audio signals हो सकते हैं, वो textual signal हो सकते हैं, वो image signals हो सकते हैं, वो कोई चीज भी हो सकती है, but all of that would be converted into a vector form, which would act as an input for these perceptrons. And once this perceptrons get that input, right, that is when we would also want to understand कि हमें अगला neural network architecture कौन सा use करना है. So when we come to the convolutional neural network, very important part is that these neural networks are very use case specific, I would say. Convolutional neural networks are the networks which are generally used in image classification. You would see that a lot. And I think iska jo next part hai, this which essentially is a good research area to again look into, it's called deep convolutional neural network. It kind of enhances it with the use of deep learning, right? And when we talk about the next neural network, which is the recurrent neural networks, we would get something called LSTM, also LSM and GRU. जिसमें से सिर्फ LSTM is something which I think I would really want you guys to look into, which is called long short-term memory. Now, interesting thing about neural network is it has a lot of things to do and a lot of parallels with how a human brain works, right? So interestingly, LSTM is a long short-term memory, right? So उसमें हमारा जो aim होता है इस neural network के साथ है to probably gain this information and try to store it for a time period, right? And I think for a better example, the guy said this key: we have multiple layers, right? We have 4 layer or 5 dense layers, right? To take every information from each layer, right, from layer 1 to layer 5, that is where LSTM comes into play. But again, LSTM को मैं अगर आज best बोलूंगा, तो that is already being replaced by something called attention layer, right, which was introduced by Google, I think back in 2017 with a research paper called Attention is All You Need, which again is something I would really want you guys to look into if anybody is interested in neural networks and wants to be a part of the research space. The third part of neural networks is the generative adversarial networks. Very heavy, very compute heavy neural networks. They would, I think, roughly take about teraflops of processing needs so that they could process data in a very effective and a very efficient manner. But a very exciting field of neural networks, because with this, I'm sure that most of you would have looked into a video where you kind of give a command to a AI program, and it kind of generates an image out of it, right? Let's say if I have given an input of, I want a painting of a blue bird with black legs, it would be able to generate this image. So that is all happening because of GAN, right? And I think the fourth part is autoencoders, which essentially is again a very high level of transformers. Again, a very important part if you want to get into the area of deep learning and neural networks, and is being used, I think, day to day in every of the voice assistant which we have. That is Apple Siri, Google Assistant, and assistants like that. And I think with that, I would want to quickly give you an overview of how to assess your ML model, right? जो भी हम यहाँ पे ML model बनाएंगे, उन सबको assess करने के तरीके अलग-अलग होते हैं, but most of them kind of rely onto these aspects, right? Precision, accuracy, F measure score, false positive rate, and true positive recall value being the topmost. To give you idea, precision is, as the word says for it, right? We are trying to be very precise with the kind of prediction we are trying to make with the ML model, right? And that also is very close to what we have with accuracy. But accuracy, it's kind of a way of coming out with a whole understanding as a whole of all of these individual scores which we have for an individual model, right? So accuracy, but at the same time, I would also warn you that the higher accuracy does not mean that the ML model is accurate, because there are things like overfitting and underfitting, right? Because if you do not really clean the data set and get into that machine learning model development phase, you might end up getting 100% accuracy, but the model would be really bad and it would not really perform very good in the real world, right? That being said, let's move on to quickly talk about reinforcement learning. Very interesting one. This is, I think, very close to what AI should be and AI is trying to be. As you can see, we have this agent and environment, right? And I think the best example एक puppy का ही हो सकता है. तो हम puppy के साथ जब उसको train करने की कोशिश करते हैं, right? If anybody has had a dog previously in their life, I'm sure उन्होंने उनको ट्रेन किया होगा. So उनका एक ट्रेनिंग का प्रोसेस होता है, right? We try and tell them like कि this is something which you have to do for a certain action, right? So when you tell that, they would try to do that action, and then you would give a reward to them, right? So once they get a reward, that is when they already know that this is something which you have to do in response to a command, right? So this is all reinforcement learning is. So हमारे पास इसमें ऐसे scenarios होते हैं, we try to train our model on different episodes, right? And one episode is essentially one training instance जहाँ पे हम अपने ML मॉडल को बताते हैं कि यार आपका जो बेस्ट एक्शन है, सॉरी बेस्ट रिवॉर्ड है, आपको वो अचीव करने के लिए एक सर्टेन सेट ऑफ एक्शंस लेने पड़ेंगे, राइट? एंड तभी आपको वो रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा, विच इज एसेंशियली अ सक्सेस स्टेट फॉर यू. एंड अगर आपको वो रिवॉर्ड नहीं मिलता है, तो दैट इज व्हेन द एजेंट tries again by a different method to achieve the success state, right? And this is something which you kind of already see in your real world, because I think you would see कि Netflix का जो recommendation action है, it kind of gets better and better every time, right? अगर you've been a viewer of the genre of thriller, so हमें I think first time login के ऊपर वो इतने precisely नहीं बता पाता है. But that is something where reinforcement learning comes in and kind of improves that prediction, and Netflix kind of learns about you, that what kind of viewer you are, right? So yep, and I think that I think quickly, if you want to really look into reinforcement learning, that is where you start looking into stuff called A3C, also SARSA and Q learning, which is the most used algorithm in the space of reinforcement learning. And again, a part of DQN, which is a deep Q network, a step up from the Q learning algorithm which we have. So yeah, and let's now move on to natural language processing. Now, I think quickly, I would really want you guys to ask questions if there are any, right? Because again, all of this of what we are trying to discuss here, it's kind of very abstract or very high level, because I'm not really sure how much knowledge you guys have. So I've tried to kept it very simple and I think very straightforward, I would say. So any doubt if you guys have, please go on.
So what are your thoughts on like data bias? So yesterday only I saw the video of Google I/O, and what they did is they introduced like image
Lambda.
enhancement techniques and such things.
Okay.
So
Right.
the major improvement was that low light photos and photos of black people being enhanced.
Right.
So did you see that? So or should I add up on it?
Uh, I actually saw that, but yeah, I would want you to add up on that. I mean,
Okay,
exactly.
so what they did is that before what was happening is that the black people or people of color were not getting their photos like much enhanced, and even the AI was actually de-enhancing their images. Like it was not having any improvement on their images, and like it was only built upon photos of white people, and therefore having much better effect on that. So Google has tried to address that with the help of by making new data sets, and like it is addressing this problem very like keenly, and it is this problem is the core in ImageNet also.
Right.
Like I have seen various images so that a lot of models that have been trained and are being used, like
Right.
like they need to be changed. What are your thoughts on this?
So मुझे सबसे पहले तो ये बताओ कि आप bias से समझते क्या हो? Like what do you understand by this term bias and the role of bias it plays in the landscape of machine learning or AI?
So from the context which I wanted to say, like bias for in this is that it is already there, like it is predefined. You cannot like you have to now see that and remove it, but it is already in the data set. Like it is already like there are more images of white people than black people, so therefore the model will by default will be biased and will take more
Right.
enhancement techniques from white people rather than black people.
Okay. So एक मिनट मैं ना एक चीज पीछे आते हैं हम. So when you see this ensemble methods, right? So हमारे पास जो data bias का problem है, that is a huge problem, right? So I'm not sure if you are aware of GPT-3. Are you?
Yes, I know.
राइट. सो GPT-3 के साथ प्रॉब्लम पता है क्या हुआ कि उन्होंने जो जनरल पर्पस ट्रांसफॉर्मर बनाया, इट्स वेरी पावरफुल, रियली वेरी पावरफुल, क्योंकि आई थिंक इट हैज बीन ट्रेन्ड ऑन द एंटायर इंटरनेट, जिसके ऊपर आई थिंक कुछ 175 बिलियन पैरामीटर्स उन्होंने यूज करे हैं. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज कि उन्होंने वो चीज अभी आउटसोर्स इसीलिए नहीं करी है, लाइक ओपन सोर्स इसीलिए नहीं करी है, सॉरी, इज कि उनके पास बहुत हेवी बायस है. Now that bias comes from the data set which they have used on, right? So the example which you told ki white people or black people, right? So unfortunately the current state says कि हमारा जो इंटरनेट है, right? So इंटरनेट के ऊपर हमारे पास इतना ज्यादा जितना भी डेटा है, that is very driven in a one direction way, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's a data which kind of probably says कि यार white people are better than black people, right? And unfortunately जब हम वो data extract करते हैं, we do not take into that account, right? And that is why इनका जो algorithm था पहले वो थोड़ा poor था, right? And that is why they've kind of tried to use these ensemble methods, right? Again, Google is not using something as basic as AdaBoost or CatBoost, right? They're trying to move into more
Yes.
nuanced ways of doing it with deep learning and AI, right? But for example, when we talk about these features, right, when we talk about AdaBoost, what it does is it tries to increase your accuracy and also remove the data pre-processing wala part, right, where we are trying to eradicate problems like biases, like variances, like increasing the R-square value, and the entire part of the cleaning of that particular data set which is going into the neural network or a deep learning model, right? And that bias is something unfortunately we cannot do a lot about as of now, because हमारे पास वो data set ही वैसा है, right? अगर हमारे पास data set ही अगर वैसा नहीं, मतलब वैसा होगा, तो like the AI model cannot really improve or train it in a certain way. But what Google is trying to do is, when it talks about people of color, right? So I've actually read this research paper. They have been doing this probably for the past 2018. It's a very interesting topic if you really want to look into, is bias in AI, right? And iske upar Google has been banging their head big time. I think the last paper which they published was 2019, when I started my master's, and they're finally able to implement that for general audience, right? So what they've essentially tried to do is कि जब वो डेटा इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं किसी भी ट्रेनिंग सेट में, राइट, दे मैन्युअली लुक इनटू इट if there is a certain level of bias already, or is there a certain level of variance for that, right? And once they
Okay.
achieve that level of cleanliness for that data set, that is when they use for training the model and then enhancing that for, you know, the use cases like for people of color,
Yeah.
as they, right? So yep. And I think I have a raise of hand from Yuvan need.
Yeah, actually, this is my son's ID. Myself, Sushma Khatri,
Okay.
Senior Assistant Professor here.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
There are certain applications for which we use classification, for which some of the application we use neural network. So there is a question that when to switch for a particular network for deep learning. How to decide that which application suit to which kind of neural network?
Okay, so interesting one. I think so. I personally used to think that, you know, सब चीज में neural network लगा देना चाहिए, सब चीज में हमें deep learning लगा देनी चाहिए, and it would be
Okay.
very performing. But it is not the case, right? Because there are
Yeah.
certain cases, certain use cases which are very specific to how, you know, it works in terms of data gathering or data understanding or how the state of the art is. Now coming back to your question कि हमें deep learning या, you know, ऐसा कुछ sophisticated term कब use करना चाहिए? So
Yeah.
deep learning generally comes back to, again, you know, when we would really want to come back to this, right? So let's say आपका एक
Yeah.
machine learning algorithm है, right? Let's say आपके पास एक classification algorithm है जो user classification ही कर रहा है, right? But
Okay.
the problem with that is कि हमारे पास user classification सिर्फ हमारे पास जो features आ रहे हैं, right? जैसे उनका age है, उनका gender है, probably उनकी you know, income capability है, या maybe उनका you know, you get the point, right? हमारे पास जब वो फीचर्स आ जाते हैं, उसके बाद हमारा प्रेडिक्शन भले ही एक्यूरेट हो रहा है, बट इट इज नॉट बीइंग एबल टू improve over time, or it is not being able to introduce or probably take into account more hidden features. Now hidden features I mean is, let's say if, you know, we are gathering this data set from a website, right? तो वेबसाइट पे और टाइप्स ऑफ डेटा अवेलेबल होते हैं, जैसे किसी यूजर ने कितने टाइम के लिए एक सेशन में, you know, टाइम स्पेंड किया है on a particular screen. If I'm able to get that kind of you know, data for a particular use case, that is when I introduce deep learning, so that I would be more precise with my you know, classification or a prediction, or in fact any other use case. So I would say ki when you would want to use deep learning, but uske pehle you would really want to, you know, make sure your ML model is working really fine, and then you would want to make your ML model much more smarter when you would want to consider these latent features which are not available at first, but then you would want to introduce in your you know, neural networks or a deep learning network.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
There is a term which is called as the software effort prediction.
Okay.
In industries also, this thing may be done, that effort has to be predicted before development of any project.
Right.
Yeah. So for that particular purpose, nowadays people are using ML methods or soft computing methods or deep learning methods. So in on that, something you can add on, or you can elaborate on that.
Unfortunately, ma'am, I'm not really sure of that. But I think the way it sounds like is probably they might be using a, you know, linear algorithm, or, you know, sorry, a linear regression algorithm where they
Yeah,
would be trying
regression.
to, right? So regression is generally where, जैसा मैंने कहा था, right? There is this
Yeah.
line, right? हम जब equation
Yeah, that is y equal to mx plus c.
exactly
That
y
I
equal
mean.
to,
Yeah.
correct, correct. So I mean probably ये बहुत basic तरीका है इसको सोचने के बारे में, but I cannot really comment on it in a very
Okay. Yeah.
defined manner. But I mean, the way I understand it here is it might be possible that they are using some sorts of regression where they're
Okay.
trying to predict कि यार इस project को हम 2 महीने में खत्म कर देंगे या 1 महीने में खत्म करेंगे, considering the variables like team size, team efforts, number of hours put in, the number of skills, or I don't know, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, that is what I would guess. But yeah, I mean, that is all I could comment on as of now.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, anyone, Amit Khare, oh, so Amit sir, अरे आप भी हो, yeah, Amit sir, please. Amit sir, I think you've raised your hand. Hello.
Amit sir, you are not audible.
Meanwhile,
Nirdesh Jain.
so meanwhile, Amit sir, I think online are like with the efforts he's trying to get into the mic system. Anybody who has doubts? And if not, let's wait for Amit sir again.
Sir, one more question was there.
हाँ,
So, like, what kind of project, like, you think that it is the best you have done? Like, which kind of project, like, you think, and please describe that project for us.
अच्छा मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में ओके ऑल राइट सो पता नहीं यार मतलब I cannot really talk about what is the best because I think every project which I have worked on is kind of different in its core aspect, but I think I will try and quickly run you through everything, right? So I think first project जो मेरा interaction था data science से, that was basically a reinforcement learning setup where we were trying to develop this smart home system which we tried and simulated that in MATLAB. And हमारा जो मेन एम था वो ये था कि अगर कोई यूजर एक घर में है, so we would want to increase the comfort level which they have based on the outer temperature. So let's say अगर गर्मी बहुत है तो we would want to automate the heating settings, heat settings, तो जिसके कारण हमारा comfort level बढ़ जाता है. तो हो सकता है कि गर्मी के दिनों में AC बढ़ जाए and ठंड के दिनों में AC कम हो जाए, इनफैक्ट बंद ही हो जाए, right? So that हमारा comfort level maintain रहे, and we want to automate, like we wanted to automate this with the help of reinforcement learning. That was very exciting for me because I personally like to kind of like to work on a cutting edge solution जो शायद बहुत नया आया है अभी research phase में, and that is where I was able to learn Q learning in A3C, right? Asynchronous learning in reinforcement learning, and also deep Q networks. And I think the second one was where I kind of used random forest and linear regression, logistic regression, decision trees, and also KNN a lot. But that was from a use case perspective very exciting for me because we were trying to predict कि एक यूजर को जिसका जेनेटिक डेटा अवेलेबल है किस टाइप की उसको डिजीजेस हो सकती हैं एंड वो कौन से टाइम फ्रेम में होगा. सो फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मेरे पास अपना जेनेटिक डेटा सेट अवेलेबल है तो आई जस्ट गो ऑन माय प्लेटफॉर्म एंड आई अपलोड दैट, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट लेट्स से मुझे एट द एज ऑफ 45 पॉसिबिलिटी है कि यार मुझे डायबिटीज हो सकती है, राइट? तो वो प्रेडिक्ट एक तो करता है, एंड उसके बाद इट ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ रिकमेंड्स यू टू अडेप्ट टू सर्टन हैबिट्स सो दैट जो आपको प्रेडिक्टेड डिजीज है उनके effects कम हो जाए, and it kind of is prolonged in a manner, right? So this was very close to my heart, I would say, क्योंकि like this was one challenge which I took in Penn State. It was for AI for good, and it went very good, like with IBM, and IBM was very interested, even Microsoft was very interested in this, so that went pretty well. And I think the third one, which I think I will talk about in the last part of this presentation, it's called Impulso. That is something which I am currently working on. So Impulso as a platform is it's kind of a tutoring platform, right? So आप इस platform पे जब आते हो तो it kind of takes your psychometric skills into account, right? And based on your psychometric skills, it tells you the ideal career path you would have, right? So for example, अगर आप जाते हो उस platform पे and based on your assessment, the platform would tell you that you could be an excellent data scientist or you could be an excellent researcher, right? And it does not just stop there. What it will also do is it would give you a very dedicated career path कि if you want to become a data scientist, what kind of skills you need to embrace, right? And वो skills जो आपको embrace करनी, let's say अगर आपको Python पढ़ना है, R पढ़ना है, या let's say TensorFlow पढ़ना पड़ता है, right? So इन तीनों चीजों पढ़ने के लिए जो best courses हैं इंटरनेट पे पूरे available, वो आपको कहाँ मिलेंगे, right? So after that also what I'm trying to work on this platform again is जहाँ पे एक 24/7 tutor available है, जिससे आप जैसे आप WhatsApp पे chat करते हो एक conversation style में. So when you do that, that is when you can actually solve doubts about a certain aspect of a subject. So yep, and I think I would personally say Impulso is very closest to my heart, but हाँ मतलब बाकी दोनों भी पीछे नहीं है. So yeah.
Like Impulso is like, it sounds like so much complicated. Like it's on a different scale, I would say.
I would probably say कि यार मैं अपना number दे दूंगा तो आप हम आराम से बात कर सकते हैं, right?
हाँ sir,
So-
please.
Yep. So Shilpa ma'am has a doubt. Yeah.
I have a doubt that you discussed your project, which can be done in IoT also. Like why you have used reinforcement learning. Maintaining the temperature can be done with the IoT device also. You can have that kind of application also. You do and I think that is much easier than the deep learning or reinforcement learning.
Right.
In reinforcement learning, you have to define the policies to the environment, to the agent.
Yep.
That will be more, if you can combine many more application with that, you can go for the reinforcement learning. Like where we have to take the decision, we need to go for the reinforcement learning.
Yep.
In temperature, it is already defined. It is algorithmic. If temperature is high, humidity is temperature is high, we have to switch on the AC, and otherwise we don't have to switch on. So that would be like Sushma Khatri ma'am is asking about the estimation, software estimation predictions. So here I prefer, in that case, IoT is much better option as compared to reinforcement learning.
Yep. So I think probably to answer to that question. So हमारा जो scenario था, so we were actually working with Intel, and Intel is trying to bring Intel compute into action, right? And उनका जो requirement है, they want to test everything in a simulated environment, right? And simulation के साथ, as I said, right, उसमें एक MATLAB part था. So MATLAB का जो part था, MATLAB was essentially trying to simulate a environment in a building, right? So that is why we had that simulation and we had an environment, and that is when we could not just use IoT for implementing and theorizing anything, right? Because theory on paper, I would also have gone with Internet of Things as the first option, but from a research standpoint, IoT would be the next step of this proof which we had, because I think in this scenario we wanted to first confirm कि हाँ ये चीज possible है, and then tell it to Intel कि हाँ मतलब आप जो सोच रहे हो, this is the best way of doing it, and this is where you can use all of your sensors to get into action. So like that was the use case, and that is where we kind of used reinforcement learning. So yep.
Athar,
Yes ma'am.
can you unlock the meeting? अगर by mistake कोई participant left कर जाते हैं तो वो unable है join करने.
अच्छा, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just a minute. I will do that. Okay, so मैंने वो चीज कर दी है. Okay, so do we wait for Amit sir to ask his question, or do we move on?
Can I ask my question by that time?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Athar.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you suggest me a good algorithm or a latest algorithm which will help me to identify the emotions on human face?
Emotions of human face. Ma'am, you would want
Face, yeah. I want to classify the various emotions, like when a person is sad, happy, in distress. So these classifications I want to do. So can you suggest me some latest algorithm related to this?
ma'am, so I think you would want to look into OpenCV first, like it's the most basic algorithm of implementing, like the most basic library of implementing such kind of use case. But on a very sophisticated level, you would also want to look into Hugging Face, because I think it is a very strong research library which is kind of making rounds in the research industry as yet. And I think उनका एक part है जहाँ पे they have it in the documentation, which I'm not really sure it's kind of very right for your use case, but yeah, Hugging Face is something which I would really look into.
Okay, I'll just go through it. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. Amit sir, I think. Okay.
I think Athar, you can continue.
Okay. Yep. Cool. Yep. So I think I haven't discussed.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Finally I got connected.
Yes.
So I like to ask you that nowadays, I think in previously we had used some expert system.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays I think we can replace, replacing the new expert system by the natural language processing. Which one is better or more useful?
Mm-hmm. Sir, expert system. So in what kind of use case I would ask?
In the terms of like previously we had used the dentalomycin for medical science. So I think in today's scenario, that is in some field like suppose we are receiving for phone. So press I 1 or 2 for receiving or not receiving. And this type of working also can be performed by the natural language processing.
Yes. So I think, sir, this is actually a part of conversational agents, and conversational agents is a major part of, I think, a major use case of natural language understanding and natural language processing, right? I think what आप जो बता रहे हो इसमें कि आपको I think शायद converse करना है and you need to try to, you know.
हाँ, मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि पहले एक्सपर्ट सिस्टम जो यूज करते थे तो प्रेजेंटली क्या नेचुरल लैंग्वेज प्रोसेसिंग ने उसको रिप्लेस कर दिया है या उसका यूज कम हो गया है?
इंडस्ट्री में नहीं सर, इंडस्ट्री में अभी नहीं आया है, बट आई थिंक Amazon इज वर्किंग टू ब्रिंग इट फॉर द मासेस. तो यूएस में अभी हुआ है. सो आई थिंक इफ यू वांट टू बुक अ कोविड वैक्सीन यहाँ पे, तो यू जस्ट नीड टू टेक्स्ट ऑन नंबर, और आप जब मैसेज करते हो तो इट काइंड ऑफ टॉक्स टू यू कि आपके पास कोई सिम्टम्स रहे हैं कि नहीं है, या आपको कुछ कभी प्रॉब्लम हुई है, एंड यू नो वो सारी चीजें. तो ये सारी चीजें अभी कॉन्वर्सेशनल एजेंट्स पे शिफ्ट हो रही है, बट अभी एकदम इतना ज्यादा इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड इस पे बना नहीं है. बट हाँ, गूगल इज वर्किंग विद आई थिंक Dialogflow, एंड फेसबुक का मैसेंजर API है, एंड इवन Amazon का Lex API है which they're working on, and Microsoft has Lewis, so they are trying to do it with all of these. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So that brings us. So I think that was kind of a good start for natural language processing. So I think when we talk about natural language processing, so I would again emphasize on this point here. Whenever we talk about machine learning or NLP in general, right? So I think एक point जो हमें हमेशा याद रखना है कि we are trying to train a machine so that it tries to learn how a human perceives information, right? And when we talk about natural language processing, तो उसका पूरा use case ही है, या उसका पूरा मेन एम ही ये है कि हम जैसे बात करते हैं, वी वांट द मशीन्स टू डू द सेम, राइट? एंड आई थिंक वी हैव काइंड ऑफ मेड ह्यूज प्रोग्रेस. यू नो, व्हेन यू टॉक टू गूगल असिस्टेंट, वो एक्चुअली आपके मूड के हिसाब से बातें कर सकता है, and Microsoft has done a very wonderful job with Microsoft Jawwise and I think Microsoft Lewis. तो रिसर्च स्पेस में काफी फेमस है, बट जनरल ऑडियंस के लिए उनको इतना नहीं पता है इसके बारे में. But if anybody wants to look into it, it's an excellent way to start. Having said that, I think कुछ important part जो होते हैं, as I said, right, NLP goes hand in hand with natural language understanding. Just a minute, मुझे move करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि हवा बहुत ज़्यादा आवाज़ आ रही है. Okay. Yep. So sorry. Yep. So when we talk about natural language processing, again, I mean, this is something which I would want to take an example from this very meeting, right? So let's say Karan ने जब कोई question पूछा था, तो as a human, he tried, he tried to say something. Let's say the question was, what is reinforcement learning, right? And as a second human in the conversation, मुझे उस चीज को perceive करना था so that I could answer it, right? और यही part है natural language understanding का, right? So you would see all of these phrases, that is relation extraction, paraphrase and natural language inference, sentiment analysis, dialogue agents, summarization, question answering and semantic parsing. अभी ये सारे high level terms को हम actually side में रख देते हैं. Let's try and understand how and what natural language understanding is. Let's go back to Karan again, right? So Karan ने जब बोला कि यार what is reinforcement learning, तो वो जब information मेरे पास आई, ये इस चीज को हम एक्चुअली सिर्फ एक एक वेरिएबल लेते हैं जिसके अंदर हमने पूरी स्ट्रिंग सेव करके रख दी है. एंड एज अ ह्यूमन जब मैंने उस चीज को परसीव करा, तो सबसे पहले तो मुझे ये समझना था कि यार उसका सेंटिमेंट क्या है, राइट? तो सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस इज अ पार्ट वेयर वी ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि उस सेंटेंस में या उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में क्या इमोशन रहेगा उस यूजर का. So let's say for Karan, it was a doubt, right? So that was his sentiment with that phrase. So as a human, again, I understood that this was kind of a doubt where the question was, what is reinforcement learning, right? So here reinforcement learning, which needs to be kind of focused on, is the most important part, right? Because that is the named entity recognition, right? So entity can be anything, right? It can be the smallest variable which kind of defines something, right? And then you recognize it. So again, coming back to me, जब मेरे पास ये information आया, what is reinforcement learning, यहाँ पे entity बन गई मेरी reinforcement learning, और उस चीज को मैंने recognize किया कि oh, okay, he wants to know about this particular topic, right? And again, going back to my sentiment कि हम exactly क्या करना चाह रहे हैं उस term के साथ में, right? That is what is reinforcement learning. Once that is done, I kind of move on to paraphrase and natural language inference, क्योंकि मुझे अब समझ में तो आ चुका है कि यार जो मेरे पास इंफॉर्मेशन आया है या जो डेटा आया है उसका मुझे करना क्या है, बट अगेन मुझे उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए. सो कमिंग बैक टू एन एग्जांपल, आई थिंक सुषमा मैम ने जैसे मुझसे पूछा था कि यार अगर मुझे प्रोजेक्ट एस्टिमेशन के लिए कोई एल्गोरिथम बनानी है तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आई विल डू. So I was able to do the sentiment analysis and named entity recognition, but again मुझे उस चीज का knowledge नहीं था तो मैं उसको infer नहीं कर पाया था, right? So that is kind of a miss in this current situation. But when we talk about NLP and NLU in general, इसके बाद जब process होता है, एक बार हमने उस data को infer कर लिया है, that is when I kind of go back to my database जहाँ पे हमारे पास सारा information already stored है, right? And that is what we generally do in our use case, I mean in our situation also, right? अब जैसे मैंने कहा कि यार मुझे reinforcement learning के बारे में पता था for a scenario where Karan asked the question, right? So वो reinforcement learning का जो entity था उससे related जितना भी knowledge मेरे पास stored था वो मेरे पास मेरे दिमाग में है, right? So that is where I was able to get that relation extracted. And once that was done, I was able to answer that with the help of NLG, जो इस diagram में नहीं मिलेगा, but it is again a very important aspect of NLP, that is natural language generation, right? तो मैंने अब सारा information perceive कर लिया है, उसका sentiment analysis कर लिया है, मेरे पास उसका data set भी है जो मैं answer करना चाहता हूँ. The natural step is कि यार मैं अपना answer वापस दूंगा, right? That's how a human conversation works, right? And again, that kind of solidifies my initial point that whenever you want to get into machine learning, you would want to think for machine learning or any of the algorithms which you have talked about in a way कि वो general दुनिया में कैसे होगा या एक general human उसको कैसे perceive करेगा, right? उसके लिए सारे tactics हैं. For NLP part we have named entity recognition, which I just talked about कि वो exactly क्या होता है. We also have part of speech tagging. So for example, I think हम जब बहुत सारे questions सुनते हैं, right? और sorry, I think बहुत सारे information consume करते हैं, तो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि हम सारे के सारा आंसर या सारा इंफॉर्मेशन एक साथ स्टोर करते हैं, राइट? वी काइंड ऑफ स्टोर ओनली अ की पार्ट ऑफ दैट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, आई थिंक हमारे पास अगर कोई आंसर है फॉर अ क्वेश्चन लाइक व्हाट इज सीक्वल, सो हमारे दिमाग में वो स्टोर होता है कि यार सीक्वल इज अ डेटाबेस, और वो डेटाबेस से रिलेटेड बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, बट हमने जो मेन टैगिंग करी है वो ये है कि यार सीक्वल इज द मेन टैग टू लुक फॉर, एंड देन to move on to all of the relation and all of the data set or all of the answers related to that, right? So that is what happens in part of speech tagging. I would also say that POS, text categorization, NER and all of that is kind of a part of one single process. आप इसमें interchange कर सकते हो, and then you can get solid results with that. And machine translation is kind of very interesting one. I think you would have seen Google Translate and also Apple Translate. Sorry, कोई कुछ बोला था? Okay, anyway, so machine translation kind of brings us to the next step of natural language processes, that is NMT, जो होता है natural machine translation, neural machine translation with the help of natural aspects also, obviously. So उस चीज में हम देखते हैं कि यार जब हमें English से हिंदी में convert करना रहता है या Japanese से English में convert करना रहता है, so that is where this machine translation comes into play, with the fact where we are trying to use a very heavy neural networks with the help of these auto encoders which I talked about previously, है ना? So that is one part, and I think with that it also covers automatic speech recognition, which is very key, which you would always see that day to day. Apple Siri, Google Assistant, all of those rely on automatic speech recognition, because हम जब audio से text में data transfer करना रहता है या convert करना रहता है, that is where ASR comes to play, and also text to speech. obviously. So yeah, I think let's quickly talk about the NLP process in depth. So let's say we have a sentence called Jenna went back to university. तो मैंने जैसे बताया था कि यार मैं as a human I would really want to perceive this sentence. So इसका जब डेटा साइंस के एस्पेक्ट में हम देखते हैं तो सबसे पहला पार्ट होता है हमारा नॉर्मलाइज करना, राइट? तो नॉर्मलाइजेशन में हम क्या करते हैं कि सब चीजों को लोअर केस में डाल देते हैं, बिकॉज एज अ वेरी बेस कंप्यूटर साइंस अंडरस्टैंडिंग हमारे पास लोअर केस और अपर केस का आस्की वैल्यू सबका अलग होता है, राइट? एंड एक कंप्यूटर लोअर केस और अपर केस को हमेशा अलग परसीव करेगा. सो एक बार हमारे पास नॉर्मलाइज टेक्स्ट हो जाता है, उसको हम क्लीन करते हैं. क्लीन करने के पहले हमारे पास पार्ट होता है टोकनाइजेशन का. तो टोकनाइजेशन इज अगेन हाउ अ ह्यूमन परसीव्स, राइट? हम किसी बच्चे को जब समझाते हैं कि आपको कोई सेंटेंस सीखना है, हम उसको वही समझाते हैं कि यार आपको टुकड़े समझना है या उसके पार्ट समझना है एक सेंटेंस के. सो वंस यू डू दैट, सो यू वुड सी कि हमारे पास टोकन्स बन गए हैं, दैट इज जेना went back to university. But then you would also want to focus and also think about कि यार हमारे पास back and to इतना कोई मतलब जिसका कोई सेंस नहीं है या in general उसका यूसेज नहीं है. So that is where we try and remove all these stop words. And for stop words, you can look into the NLP library, जो NLTK है, and NLTK gives you a good brief of what stop words are and what kind of stop words are there, which you can remove. And once that is done, you only understand and keep the essential, words or tokens in this use case. Once that is done, you pass it through a stemming process or a lemmatization process, जहाँ पे हम हर वर्ड को जो हमने टोकन्स में से सेव करके रखा है उसका रूट वर्ड हम ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हैं. सो रूट वर्ड आई थिंक आई वुड काइंड ऑफ गो बैक टू, आई एम श्योर अ लॉट ऑफ यू वुड ऑलरेडी अंडरस्टैंड इट, सो आई वुड नॉट रियली वांट टू गो इन डेप्थ. बट जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी का रूट वर्ड होता है यूनिवर्स, राइट? एंड यूनिवर्सिटी को ब्रेक डाउन करते हैं तो वो एसेंशियली यूनिवर्स एंड सिटी का मिक्स है, एंड उसको एड अप करके एक वर्ड बनता है. सो वंस दैट इज डन, अगेन दैट would take us to the process of vectorization, which again I talked about in the earlier part of this presentation, right? Vectorization hota hai, then we have a nice little layer of hidden layers in the neural network, and then it decodes the information with a lot of transformers. And I think just for a reference, we have this. You would want to look into this autoencoders being the last process. And autoencoders जब हमारे transformers उसको convert कर देते हैं, we would then move on to the last part, which is natural language generation. Okay, मैं एक मिनट, आई थिंक शायद कोई म्यूट नहीं है अभी, तो उनका बैकग्राउंड नॉइज आ रहा है. आई एम रियली सॉरी, मैंने जस्ट अभी उनको म्यूट किया है. सो यप, that brings us to tokenization. This I would say is probably the most critical step of cleaning the text corpus data which we have. So इसमें बहुत सारे techniques होते हैं. You would say white space tokenization, which essentially means कि यार अगर हमारे पास एक sentence आ रहा है और हम उसको एक array में save कर रहे हैं, तो जैसे जैसे मेरे पास एक white space आते जाएगा, I would just separate the tokens, and this is what most of the people would use, right? But at the same time, if we have a use case जहाँ पे we would really want to look words after full stop, and you would want to look specific words after certain commas or any punctuation, that is when you would also use rule based tokenization, right? And the second one is the dictionary based tokenization. तो dictionary generally हम जब dictionary के words को consider करते हैं, तो there is a style and there is a ranking mechanism which the dictionary follows, right? And उसी के basis पे इस tokenization में काम होता है. बाकी सारी चीजें it's kind of a plug and play thing. If you really want to play it around, I think you can use Spacey tokenizer, which is kind of decent, again goes in line with what white space tokenization is. And just for your knowledge, you can look into this, but this is not really necessary, I would say. So yeah, I think quickly summarizing the NLP process, as I said, we take the input sentence, we kind of do the analysis lexically. Lexically is essentially trying to understand the keywords and then looking out for certain keywords in our knowledge base, and then doing the syntactic analysis, and then the semantic analysis. And one more thing which I kind of forgot here is the sentiment analysis, which again is a very crucial part. And वो जब सारी चीजें हो जाती हैं, that is when we move on to the output transformation, which is the part of natural language processing, natural language generation, sorry. So when you would see this as a whole is a process of NLP, right? And when you talk about this particular, I hope everybody's able to see my pointer, right? So when you would see this process, this is a part of natural language understanding, right? And this little part is the part of natural language generation. So yeah, I think that's a good brief about NLP. Again, I think I would probably be just repeating myself if I talk about this, but a good scenario to talk about here is like, you know, we kind of train our NLP model on a given data set or given text set, जहाँ पे हमारे पास बहुत सारा textual data होता है, and we would also want to kind of you know, train the NLP model for a certain domain, right? So by domain I mean, let's say वो domain हो सकता है medical science, or the domain can be computer science or electrical engineering, right? Because when we think about certain terms from a textual perspective, कुछ terms होती हैं electrical engineering में which would not appear in computer science, right? So I would not really want to look into or consider those terms. So that is where this domain model comes into play, and also domain knowledge is very handy here. And हमारे पास जब domain knowledge का training हो जाता है, that is when we also want to look into linguistic knowledge, and that again is trying to train your NLP model in a very linguistic way, ताकि आप किसी language को, उसके तरीके को, बात जैसे करते हैं उसको आप समझ पाओ. एंड उसके लिए बहुत सारे मेथड्स होते हैं, टूल्स होते हैं विच यू कैन इजीली फाइंड ऑन इंटरनेट. ठीक है, मतलब एंड अगर कभी किसी को डाउट हो तो यू कैन ऑलवेज रीच मी ऑन लिंक्डइन, और व्हाट्सएप तो नहीं बोलूंगा वैसे, बट लिंक्डइन पे, हाँ लिंक्डइन पे यू कैन रीच मी एंड वी कैन टॉक अबाउट इट. So yeah, as I said, we would also talk about the current state of the art in NLP, transformers and attention, which I would say is currently very high performing in the real world, but from a research perspective or the research space, it is kind of old now, right? I mean, log use karte hain transformers attention bahut zyada, but they are trying to move on to the third part, that is the end short learning. But uske pehle I would want to talk about natural language generation. And natural language generation mein, I think anybody who has seen Google I/O would also have seen Google Lambda, राइट, जहाँ पे आई थिंक वो प्लूटो के बारे में बात करते हैं उस यूज केस में. सो दैट इज an excellent example of natural language generation, how a automated program is able to kind of generate a very natural language so that it can converse with a human with efficient knowledge also, right? And the third one is very interesting, which I have been trying to learn recently. It's called N-short learning. I'm sure that everybody of you have had troubles training your model or increasing your data set, या उसके training episodes उसको increase करके उसका accuracy बढ़ाना या उसकी performance change करना and stuff like that. So what N-short learning does is you would always read this as one shot learning or two shot learning or zero shot learning. So one shot learning is essentially जब हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक टेस्ट केस देते हैं, सॉरी एक ट्रेन सेट देते हैं, एंड उस ट्रेन सेट के ऊपर हमारा मॉडल ट्रेन हो जाता है, एंड देन इट इज एबल टू परफॉर्म रियली वेल. एंड इससे हमारा प्रोसेस टाइम, ये जो प्रोसेसिंग टाइम कम हो जाता है, एंड ऑब्वियसली जो कंप्यूटेशनल रिसोर्सेज है वो काफी कम हो जाता है. एंड ऑल ऑफ इज बीइंग मेड पॉसिबल because of what we see in knowledge graphs and graph ML. So knowledge graph is very exciting topic, which I think I would really want everybody of you to look into. I would really go as far as to say कि जो हमारे normal data structures हैं, arrays, linked list, queues, वो use होते हैं, but they are very old now, right? Everything is graph, and I would say graph is everything, right? So you would really want to look how Facebook does knowledge graphs, how Google does knowledge graphs, and also how Microsoft Bing does it for Microsoft Cortana, right? So knowledge graph is again very interesting, and that leads to graph ML, which is again a very exciting field to look into, but I would probably leave it for a possible of a new or a next webinar, so that हम इसके बारे में deep में बात कर सकते हैं. But yeah, I think if you really want to dive deep into how the research space is looking like, or you want to do some research, you really want to compete on these parameters or these areas, right? Having said that, let's move on to the current state of the art in terms of conversational agents, which is a very useful part of NLP. You would see Microsoft Shower Eyes, Google Lambda, as I discussed, Amazon Alexa, Microsoft Lewis. All of these are excellent examples of how research has kind of pushed the NLP state forward for a general user. And I'm sure बहुत सारे लोगों ने तो Amazon Alexa use किया भी होगा, अगर Shower Eyes और Lewis नहीं use किया हो तो. But just to give you a very quick fun fact, Microsoft ने एक experiment किया था. I think that was across China and a lot of other Asian countries. It was called Microsoft Ruh, and वो आपसे एक normal friend की तरह बात कर पा रहा था. They were able to recommend you the best playlist for you, जो आपको बहुत अच्छी लगेगी, या बहुत सारे actions जो actually आप करेंगे या आपके लिए ideal हैं based on your personal data points. So yeah, I think and before we kind of wrap this up, I would really want you guys to look into these libraries just to start, right? For ML, you would want to look into scikit-learn, which I think the world knows. You would also look into pandas and numpy. I think it kind of gets most of the job done. Also TensorFlow in itself is, I would say, pura machine learning usi mein. TensorFlow Lite, TensorFlow, and even I think recently ये भी काम कर रहे हैं TensorFlow NLU के ऊपर dedicatedly. For NLP, you would want to look into Spacey and also Rasa NLU, both of which are my personal favorite. And I think third one is GPT. GPT-3, I'm not sure you can get an access, but I think अगर आप अपने college ID से apply करते हो GPT-3 के ऊपर, you can actually get that access and you can just play around if you have a good research intention in mind. Because as I said earlier, ये बहुत powerful है, and I think one of the doubts which this guy raised was data bias. वो जो GPT ट्रांसफॉर्मर है, इट इज हेवीली बायस्ड, एंड वो मतलब काफी ज्यादा रेसिस्ट कमेंट्स दे सकता है if you want to get into that area. But yeah, GPT-1, GPT-2 is something which everybody can use. You can always use TensorFlow, Keras, and PyTorch for all of that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So this was kind of a very high level talk or high level discussion about what ML and NLP is all about. And probably if we have chance, अगर हम आगे भी मिल पाएंगे, तो probably would want to get into the coding aspect or how things look like. So yep, any doubts, any points you would want to discuss? And क्योंकि एक बार उसके वो जब हो जाएगा, I would really want an opinion from everybody on the call so that we can talk about that. So yep, first doubts, and then we can move on to the next thing.
Any questions from participants?
यार क्वेश्चंस तो होंगे यार, इतना क्लियर तो हो ही नहीं सकता कि मैं हो गया हूँ.
Okay, I think.
I guess Shilpa ma'am ने I guess hand raise किया है, I'm guessing.
ना मेरा पहले से हैंड रेज है, मैं ऑलरेडी पूछ चुकी हूँ बेटा.
Okay, and I see Mandeep. Yep.
Hello sir, am I audible?
हाँ Mandeep.
Yeah, so मेरा क्वेश्चन था कि हम लोग ऐसा बहुत बार सुनते हैं कि ML आगे जाके जॉब्स है ना जो ह्यूमंस करते हैं उनको रिप्लेस कर सकता है. जैसे अभी जैसे ये आए थे कंप्यूटर, तो जितना भी डेटा का स्टोरेज था और डेटा जो भी मैनेज करने का, वो सब यहाँ पे चला गया कंप्यूटर पे. तो अगर हम ऐसे कंपेयर करें तो ML मतलब कौन कौन सी जॉब्स को कर सकता है रिप्लेस, और मतलब क्या मतलब वरी होना चाहिए, कौन सी जॉब्स है?
पता नहीं है, मतलब आई थिंक वो प्रोडक्शन में पहुंचने में तो बहुत टाइम लगेगा, बट हाँ दैट इज अ वेरी सॉलिड पॉइंट टू कंसिडर, क्योंकि मशीन लर्निंग और ऑटोमेशन हर फील्ड में आ रहा है. सो रिसेंटली इनफ यहाँ पे जो टेलीकॉम सेक्टर है, तो इन्होंने जितना भी सपोर्ट सिस्टम है फॉर बैंकिंग, फॉर फूड रेस्टोरेंट्स, एंड आई थिंक एनी कंपनी जो हमारा कस्टमर केयर होता है, राइट, तो वो जनरली जो जॉब्स हमारे पास इंडिया में या आई थिंक एशिया में रहते थे, तो वो चीज़ ऑटोमेट हो चुकी है मशीन लर्निंग और AI के साथ में. तो US में हो रहा है, आई थिंक यूरोप में भी हो रहा है, तो वो चीज़ ऑलरेडी हो चुकी है. बैंकिंग सेक्टर में भी आ चुका है, एंड आई थिंक हेल्थ केयर में इट्स काइंड ऑफ यूज्ड एज एनहांसमेंट. बट या, एंड आई थिंक फॉर ऑल द कंप्यूटर साइंस ग्रेजुएट्स ऑल्सो, कि भाई वो जो प्रॉब्लम है कि भाई हम जो कोड लिखते हैं, वो कोड भी लिखना चालू कर चुका है GPT-3. और पता नहीं, मतलब आई थिंक इन द नेक्स्ट 5 or 6 years मुझे लगता है कि वो शायद एफिशिएंट कोड भी लिखने लग जाएगा. यू मे नेवर नो, क्योंकि जिस तरीके के एप्लीकेशंस हैं, आई थिंक वो किसी भी यूज केस किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में हो सकता है. सो लाइक आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर कि उसको मैं कैसे आंसर करूं, बट माय गेस वुड बी ML किसी भी जॉब को चेंज कर सकता है.
ओके,
यप
ओके, थैंक यू.
यप.
सर एक और क्वेश्चन था. सर जैसे अभी मैं रिसेंटली एक क्वेश्चन आंसर पाइपलाइन पे वर्क कर रहा
हाँ
था, तो उसके अंदर मैंने क्या करा, मतलब बर्ड ही डाउनलोड करा था. तो मैंने बर्ड के बारे में
एक मिनट, माइक से थोड़ा दूर होके बोलो यार, मेरे को हवा बहुत ज्यादा आ रही है उसमें.
ओके सर, ओके, नाउ इट इज क्लियर.
हाँ, अभी काफी क्लियर है.
ओके, ओके. सो जैसे बर्ड का मैंने देखा है कि उसको ट्रेन करने में बहुत टाइम लगा, और दे हैव यूज्ड विकिपीडिया आर्टिकल्स, अ लॉट ऑफ देम।
Yep.
मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है, जैसे कि अब जैसे हम इमेजेस पे ट्रेन करते हैं तो उनका जो वेक्टराइजेशन है वो फिर भी इजी है, बट टेक्सचुअल डेटा में जैसे आप ट्रेन कर रहे हो किसी को, तो लाइक हाउ डू यू लाइक एक्सप्लेन द मशीन कि इज या इन या ऑन या इन टाइप के वर्ड्स, हाउ डू एक्सप्लेन कि हाउ डू दे रिलेट विथ ईच अदर, like any perspective, like how do the neural network perceives it?
यार मैं एक्चुअली इसको 1 मिनट, मुझे बस 2 मिनट देना, मैं अपना स्क्रीन शेयर स्टॉप कर रहा हूँ। और ये एक्चुअली मेरे पार्ट, मतलब मेरे थीसिस का पार्ट था, जो मैंने थीसिस कंप्लीट करी है। सो थीसिस में हमने क्या किया था, ये जो इम्पल्सो है राइट, तो इम्पल्सो में मैंने जो आपको फीचर बताया था कि एक ट्यूटर है 24/7 अवेलेबल, जो आपके सारे डाउट्स को आंसर करेगा, है ना। तो उसमें हम क्या करते हैं कि जो पार्ट ऑफ स्पीच टैगिंग या NER मैंने जो तुम्हें बताया था ना, नेम्ड एंटिटी रिकग्निशन, तो वो चीज यूज होती है। क्या हुआ? ओके, काफी बैकग्राउंड आवाज है, बट या करण, आई थिंक जस्ट गिव मी लाइक 2 minutes एंड आई विल बी एबल टू शो दैट टू यू।
Okay.
थीसिस का है यार। ओके, सो मेरी स्क्रीन दिख रही है क्या?
Yes, sir.
ओके। Yep, here we go. हाँ, so when you consider this diagram first, right, तो आप एक डोमेन के बारे में हम पहले कंसिडर करते हैं। लेट्स से वो डोमेन कंप्यूटर साइंस है, ठीक है। तो अगर कंप्यूटर साइंस को अगर मैं देखूं, तो कंप्यूटर साइंस एक एज अ डोमेन जब हम कंसिडर करेंगे, तो उसके कंप्यूटर साइंस में रिस्पेक्टिव टॉपिक्स भी होते हैं, राइट। तो मान लो वो टॉपिक्स हैं SQL, डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट, या और कौन से होते हैं यार, मेरे को टर्म्स याद नहीं आ रहे अभी। लेट्स से
Data structures,
डेटा
algorithms,
स्ट्रक्चर हो गया,
and
एल्गोरिथम्स हो गया, बहुत सारे, राइट। तो एज अ कलेक्शन हम जब ये देखते हैं तो ये एक डोमेन बन जाता है, राइट। तो अब जैसे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स की अगर बात करते हो, तो ये तो हमारा एक सुपर टॉपिक हो गया, उसके सारे चाइल्ड टॉपिक्स भी होते हैं, राइट। तो डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स में और आ जाता है, एरे हो जाता है, लिंक लिस्ट हो जाता है, ग्राफ्स हो जाता है, क्यूज हो जाता है, एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट, राइट। सो यू कैन
yes,
सी दैट इन दिस डायग्राम फर्स्ट, राइट। तो इसमें मैंने एग्जांपल लिया है ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग का, राइट। तो उसमें हमारे पास ये लेवल है। अब मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ कि मैंने भी अपना जो ट्रेनिंग सेट है वो एक्चुअली विकिपीडिया ही लिया था। सो मैंने जब नेम्ड एंटिटी रिकग्निशन किया था, तो वो एसेंशियली ये चीज थी कि मेरे पास एक ऐसा स्क्रॉलर बना हुआ था जो विकिपीडिया के सारे पेजेस पे जाता था, जितने भी बने हैं आज तक विकिपीडिया में। और
okay,
जहाँ पे भी ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग, ये वर्ड या इनहेरिटेंस या क्लासेस या ये सारी चीजें प्री डिफाइंड जो मैं कर रहा था, उनको देखता है और उनको एक्सट्रैक्ट कर लेता है, राइट। एंड वो जब डेटा आ जाता है, तो दैट इज द डेटा विच आई वुड वांट टू यूज फॉर ट्रेनिंग दैट NLP मॉडल, जो एसेंशियली मेरा नॉलेज ग्राफ के साथ में चल रहा है, राइट। सो जो नॉलेज ग्राफ बन रहा है, दैट इज हैपनिंग विद दिस NER थिंग व्हिच आई मेंशन्ड इन माय प्रेजेंटेशन।
yeah,
ठीक है, मेक सेंस। एंड
yes,
उसमें
sir.
तो देयर इज दिस ऑन्टोलॉजी पार्ट। तो मतलब अगर आपको देखना ही है कि यार ये जो रिलेशंस बनते हैं, तो ये ऑन्टोलॉजी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज होती है। तो ऑन्टोलॉजी क्या करती है यार, मतलब यू वुड रीड दिस डायग्राम एज टॉपिक कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ अ टॉपिक व्हिच हैज एट्रीब्यूट 1, एट्रीब्यूट 2 एंड एट्रीब्यूट 3, या एंड सो ऑन, राइट। एंड देन यू
Okay,
हैव अ सर्टेन लेवल। तो टॉपिक मान लो मशीन लर्निंग हो गया, है ना। तो मशीन लर्निंग कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ लीनियर रिग्रेशन व्हिच हैज आई डोंट नो, मतलब उसमें हम क्या बात करेंगे, बट लेट्स से प्रेडिक्शन हो गया, या F1 हो गया, या रिकॉल वैल्यू,
bias,
या बायस हो गया, एग्जैक्टली, या एक्यूरेसी हो गया। तो ये सारे उसके मतलब इस तरीके से हमारे लिंकेज देखते हैं। बट हाँ, मतलब यू वुड वांट टू लुक इनटू ऑन्टोलॉजी, और ऑन्टोलॉजी जनरली इज काइंड ऑफ द बेस ऑफ हाउ योर NLP का नॉलेज ग्राफ शुड लुक लाइक, राइट। तो ये पता नहीं है, मतलब मुझे नहीं पता था कि ये तुम लोग इसको कंज्यूम कर पाओगे कि नहीं, बट इफ यू गाइस वांट टू डिस्कस, आई एम ऑलवेज ओपन टू दिस।
इवन जैसे विकिपीडिया पे जैसे मैंने मतलब स्क्रैप करा था एक बार, so the thing is like मैं all the pages like एक कोई भी टॉपिक मैंने दे दिया, suppose anything like suppose computer science ही दे दिया, so if I reach to the end of it and various other topics, उन सभी का एंड फिलोसॉफी पे ही जा रहा था एट द एंड। मतलब विकिपीडिया पे उनका जो नॉलेज ग्राफ है, उसका जो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट है उनका, इट्स फिलोसॉफिकल, दैट फिलोसॉफी पेज।
Okay.
लाइक उन्होंने ये बहुत अच्छा कनेक्शन उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे बनाए हैं, उनका जो नॉलेज ग्राफ है बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छे से समझा जा सकता है और उसके ऊपर कुछ करा जा सकता है।
हम आई थिंक मुझे लगता है कि हम ये ऑफलाइन बात करेंगे ज्यादा बेटर है ना?
Okay.
So, वो सारी चीजें डिस्कस कर सकते हैं जितना तुमको करना है, जितना मैं बता पाऊंगा, जितना मुझे पता है ना, उस बेसिस पे आई कैन टॉक अबाउट इट, राइट? सो यप, और ओह सॉरी, ये हो गया क्या प्रेजेंटेशन? यप, ओके, एनीवन एल्स?
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Good morning, sir. My name is Yash. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a doubt. Like I actually asked with many seniors if I want to go into the machine learning field for a job as a fresher. They always say that it is really hard to get a job for a fresher in machine learning field. First, try to get experience for 1-2 years, then try to switch the technology. What's your views on that? Yeah. This is true. Like I think.
ओके, सो ना मैं तो पता है जॉब वाला थोड़ा कम ही इंसान रहा हूँ मतलब आई थिंक शिल्पा मैम कैन टॉक अबाउट इट very briefly but I think for that I would recommend you to actually work on real life projects, right? And अगर आप किसी ऐसे प्रॉब्लम को उठाते हो जो एक्चुअली सॉल्व नहीं हुआ है, एंड ऑब्वियसली वेरी फोकसली जो हमें इजीली गिटहब पे नहीं मिल जाता, राइट? तो अगर ऐसे किसी प्रॉब्लम को आप सॉल्व कर रहे हो ना, तो आपको बहुत इजीली कोई भी जॉब दे देगा, राइट? लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आई थिंक मेरा ही केस मैं अगर देखूं तो मेरे पास मशीन लर्निंग में एज सच कोई एक्सपीरियंस था नहीं, राइट? व्हेन आई फिनिश माय कंप्यूटर साइंस, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस था आईओटी, ब्लॉकचेन, वेब एप्लीकेशन डेवलपमेंट और ये सारी चीज़ों में। बट मैंने जब अपनी मास्टर्स करी थी तो मुझे बड़ी चिंता थी यार कि मुझे जॉब वगैरह सब मिलेगी कि नहीं। बट जो मेरा अभी करंट जॉब है, तो मैंने स्टार्ट करा अपने एक सीनियर पोजीशन के साथ स्टार्ट किया है। तो मेरा जॉब टाइटल बोलता है भाई फाउंडिंग सीनियर मेंबर फॉर एनएलपी इंजीनियर एंड डेटा साइंटिस्ट। तो वो चीज़ इसीलिए हो पाई थी क्योंकि आई थिंक जब मैं पढ़ रहा था तो आई वाज एबल टू वर्क ऑन लाइक 4 डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स विच वर लाइक अ रियल लाइफ प्रॉब्लम, और जो एक्चुअली कभी तक हुए नहीं थे। एंड उसके कारण आई थिंक एवरीबडी काइंड ऑफ सीज दैट हाँ, अगर इसको मैं रियल वर्ल्ड प्रॉब्लम देता हूँ या कोई भी ऐसा प्रॉब्लम देता हूँ जो क्लाइंट ने पोज किया है, तो यू कैन सॉल्व इट एंड यू नो दे कैन एक्चुअली गिव यू अ जॉब। सो या आई मीन दैट वुड बी माय टेक।
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Question. Thank you so much, Athar, for very interactive, informative, and constructive session. This was indeed wonderful session. Now, I would like to invite Professor Rahul Patel, Assistant Professor CSC Department, to propose a vote of thanks.
Rahul sir.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am. I think I am audible.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much. So it's morning for Athar. Good morning, one and all.
Thank you sir. Good morning.
Good morning. On behalf of Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar on Introduction to ML and NLP, organized by CSE Department. At the outset, I thank our speaker and prominent resource person, Mr. Athar Mungi, NLP engineer, data scientist. I must say that the session is very interactive and we are really enlightened by your knowledge and presence. I also extend my thanks to Dr. Kamal Kumar Sethi sir, Professor and Head CSE Department, for his support and valuable guidance. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our students and faculty members for their active participation. Thank you everyone. Over to you, Kavita ma'am.
Thank you, sir. A heartfelt gratitude to Athar for sparing your valuable time to mentor our participants. We will look forward to future opportunities for collaboration with you for advanced teaching and learning. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Ma'am, so before we go, so I think एक बहुत छोटा सा part है. It's kind of a quick survey, right? So probably मैं एक Google link दूंगा आपको, तो आप अगर आप बच्चों में forward कर सकते हो, because no, what I'm trying to do here is जो मैंने एक Impulso के बारे में बताया था, right? So it's kind of a product that I'm trying to make, और वो actually सारे बच्चों के लिए ही है, right? For everyone who is going into undergrad. So just to give everybody an idea what exactly it is, वो एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जहाँ पे आप अपने साइकोमेट्रिक स्किल के हिसाब से आपके लिए जो बेस्ट करियर ऑप्शन है या करियर पाथ है that is something which is being recommended to you. And उससे related आपके जितने भी doubts हैं, you can actually solve that by using WhatsApp as a way to communicate with that smart agent or the smart assistant. ठीक है? So I would really want to know everybody's opinion कि आप कैसे इसको receive करेंगे, आप use करना चाहेंगे भी कि नहीं, या ये सारी चीजें. So probably that would be a part, and I would really be very thankful for everyone जो भी इसमें participate करेगा, right? So yep, that's what I would say.
Definitely मैं share करूँगा.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Athar.
All right.
Thank you
Athar.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.